Welcome everyone. Thank you for investing your time to attend this webinar. I must congratulate you. Just attending this shows that you already are inclined to considering options to embrace changes that are more efficient for processes for your business, and you already understand that 3D needs to be leveraged beyond design to manufacturing as well. So kudos to that approach that you have. Let me start off with introducing myself. I am Jay Shalgekar, aka Jay. I am your multi-product specialist for the SOLIDWORKS technical communication suite of products here at Central Innovation. And I am joined by our MP multi-product team leader, that's Dr. Esfan Kowi, who has over 20 years of experience in engineering and is also an expert in SOLIDWORKS simulation products. All right, let's start off with this, and we will begin with a quick introduction about ourselves. Most of you know us, but we would like to just emphasize that we are a company that would like to partner with you for your end-to-end design solutions. Next, we will just go through the CBIs, or the business issues that are commonly observed in manufacturing today. We then get on a quick introduction of MBD. What is it? How can you use it? Why would you use it? And then it's followed by a quick demo. All right, we as Central Innovation are happy to partner with you for your end-to-end technical requirements in design. We understand that good designs need to be supported by better hardware, services, and skills. Since 1990, Intercad has been at the forefront of 3D modeling software and powerful hardware. So along with the best of breed software, we can also be your solution partner for the best available hardware and high clocking machines, particularly built for modeling and rendering. Our CAD solutions are supported by services like ERP integration, data migrations, and design automations. And we are proud to have developed our own proprietary solutions and services. We have the largest team of certified SolidWorks engineers in Australia and New Zealand. And we also have a recruitment division, which is an efficient and effective resource for skill sets required in 3D CAD and more. So Central Innovation is your one-stop solution partner for all design needs. And we're happy to assist you with that. Just getting on to a quick glimpse about the SolidWorks innovation platform. Most of you are already SolidWorks users, and so this is just giving you a glimpse about its products having a solution for every stage of a design process. We begin with designs, which we have modules in mechanical and electrical, and the next stage would be then to validate the created designs and have simulation tools for the same, which will have structural analysis, flow analysis, and also plastic injection molding. And one of the must-to-have tools for managing, controlling, and governing the usage of your 3D data is PDM. And you also have an array of tools that helps you communicate this engineering data for a variety of purposes. The technical communication suite includes inspection, which is basically helping you create or generate balloon drawings and first inspection articles and more. There is Composer, which is basically repurposing your 3D CAD data to create some stunning collaterals for brochures, manuals, marketing, and more. And we have a webinar scheduled next Tuesday at the same time. So I'll throw some light on that at the end of this webinar. Also, we have Visualize, which is a software that helps render photorealistic content for all your CAD data. And feel free to contact us for any of these tools that you would like to know more about, and we will connect you to our solution specialists. All right, getting on with this, talking about the current situation in manufacturing. The impact of 3D on design is indisputable, yet 2D drawings have always remained the primary modes of conveying all the information required for manufacturing. And this actually limits the potential of 3D on the manufacturing side of the equation. Well, why is this? It's not just familiarity or tradition or the resistance to change, but it was also the absence of a compatible integrated solution. But manufacturers will always argue that 2D drawings have always been successfully communicating all their PMI or product manufacturing information, which includes datum references, coordinate systems, dimensions, tolerances, bill of materials, and all of that. Well, yes, they have, but how efficiently is the question, and at what cost? Majority companies design in 3D, but yet they communicate in 2D. And this is quite similar to using like a smartphone for making voice calls and sending emails, and that's about it. So that's basically just underutilization of potential. Not only is it hard and time consuming to make all these 3D drawings, and it's even harder to maintain them in multi-sheets and communicate this again to your manufacturing with the right design intent. Then it is, of course, highly prone to ambiguity and misinterpretations. And as funny as this illustration is, it is actually the reality of a majority of the manufacturing companies today. And this has been proven by research. Almost every engineering division faces this challenge in optimizing their time, and research proves that these engineers spend majority of the time, a staggering 80%, just creating drawings or answering queries about the drawings and generating additional drawings, documentation. And it's not only engineering, it's the manufacturing line too that faces a similar dilemma. This trickles down again to suppliers, vendors. They don't have sufficient data, or they're misinterpreting it. There is a back and forth exchange of queries, clarifications, maybe some additional recreation of drawings, and yet you will end up with errors in production. What does all this translate to? Downtime, scraps, reworks, delays, costs. For all these commonly observed business issues, SOLIDWORKS has built a tool that tackles these inefficiencies in translating your 3D data into 2D and all the ripple effects that it is creating in all your production activity. SOLIDWORKS MBD allows you to add all the product manufacturing information, PMI, as we'll address it throughout this webinar, which is directly added to your model and publishing it into 3D interactive dynamic formats, which are easily accessible by any device. It could be a PC, it could be a tablet, or even a mobile. This is a drawingless solution that extends the benefit of 3D to manufacturing. So how are you supposed to use this? Well, the agenda of this was to basically reduce all the work of translating the 3D to 2D and all the long timelines that it has. So it was necessary for SOLIDWORKS to have this tool that was as easy as it could possibly be. Otherwise, it would be really paradoxical to just have a tool that would involve too many steps or complexities, trying to make it harder to understand or longer to implement. So if you break down MBD into 5 quick steps, it could be just starting off with 1, activate your MBD in the SOLIDWORKS tab. Then secondly, you just start defining your product manufacturing information. So you've got options of both freestyle and intelligent dimensioning, tolerancing, and annotations. So you can utilize the DIM Expert, which is quite a popular tool among all the SOLIDWORKS users, to add all the dimensioning that you require. You can also use the existing feature dimensions, which are put in by the modeler or the designer and which are already existing in the model. You can set up your geometric tolerances, styles, datums, tree views, and I'll dive deeper into that, so you don't have to be intimidated with all what I'm saying right now. But that will be your second step. To start with the third step, you start just creating the views and assigning the annotations to them. So that's kind of a very easy thing. It's almost like just click of buttons and you get all the views that you need. You can set up multiple viewports with your product manufacturing information, have cut sections, bill of materials, model break views, and all of that. I'll show you about that as well. You can capture views with a click and choosing annotations for the views to be captured. You can adjust display states. MBD comes with an editor tool that you can edit and create templates for your 3D PDF. So you don't really need any special Adobe software to create your PDF layouts. So this comes inbuilt within MBD. And the last step would be to basically just publish this into 3D PDFs and edrawings, which can be easily accessed by users, which is free for any reader. So you don't really need to pay for these readers. And these are dynamic and interactive output files. Well, what are the benefits? With MBD, you can take your current drawings, which you're supplying to your manufacturing in this format, to something more dynamic and interactive like this. And I'll tell you why. So this is basically a test that was conducted by the National Institute of Standards and Technology in US, and it was an independent research study where SOLIDWORKS wasn't even involved. And they conducted this practical test comparing 3 models to compare the cycle time of drawing-based approach to a model-based approach. And the gist of these 3 practical tests of these models was through semantic PMI definition, CAM, and CMM. It was observed that the model-based approaches saved over 70% of the cycle time. Furthermore, the model-based supplier delivered parts in approximately 5 weeks, but the drawing-based supplier took approximately 8 months to deliver the same parts due to the back and forth Q&A. So that's the massive difference that we're talking about, and I'll be sharing this deck with you where you can read more at this link that's shared here. So what are the key benefits? Well, with all that we've discussed, it is quite evident that MBD would be responsible for cutting down your costs by reducing your losses in scrap, rework, procurement, labor. It'll save you time, especially with your engineering teams, product development with lesser back and forth Q&A with all the suppliers or manufacturing. Of course, you can assure quality, as PMI could not get any more clearer for your manufacturing folks. And you can, of course, ensure your products are and processes are compliant to the highest standards, because this was tested by the US military as well, and that was the area they beta tested it, and it's got a military grade of 31000. And well, this is not just all theory. So it is tried, tested, proven with some of the biggest organizations. Companies like Toyota, Boeing recommended MBD after observing savings averaging 50% in cost and over 30% in time. The Air Warfare Center, a department of the US Navy, reported savings of 3.4 million annually with just the use of MBD. Well, I guess you guys have had enough of slides. Some of you must be like, enough of this literature, now show me the tool. All right, I'll now just jump right into SolidWorks to show you what we can really do with MBD. Just the last one of the slide that I would like to take you before that is to show you what can you expect out of this demo. So we'll start with the slide that I shared earlier. We'll start by orienting the model, then defining all the product manufacturing information, creating these 3D views, capturing them, and then publishing them. But let me go a little on the backward side to just try to show you what the final output file is that you can expect just by creating this by using MBD. All right, so this is a 3D PDF that we've created, and this is I'm going to show you exactly how to get this output on through this demo. So as you can see here, there are all these views at this bottom which have been created, which are all dynamic within the 3D PDF and interactive as well. So you have the ability to pan, zoom, rotate, and each of these dimensions as well, you can interact with them. They would highlight which are the surfaces that they're dimensioning against. You have the notes view, all the data that you would rather put into a 2D PDF or a 2D drawing you'll be able to put it all in here. In fact, more to this, you also have the ability to add in variants. So all this PMI can be added for different variants of the same product as well. The ability to even add comments within a PDF through a reader, so making it an editable reader. So if you want to just add a comment, you can do that within the PDF as well. So your suppliers can add in all the questions that they would have if they would. These are all fields that you can set in within the 3DF template editor. So this is what you can really expect. Along with this, you also have for assemblies, you can have the bill of materials, which is again interactive. So if you have the model in you can put it in the exploded view, and you can set different views to it, like you can have it solid or transparent, and these are all interactive. So it will highlight the products within the BOM table as well as on the model directly within the PDF. So things become actually much more clear, and of course, comparing it to 2D drawings, I think it has a significant advantage. All right, let me just dive right into the SolidWorks demo for now. We're going to use this assembly here that I have. So this is for an underwater camera system, where this is the gears are meshed together for basically the pan and zoom actions for the underwater camera, and they need to be on a close tolerance with precise fits so that they can avoid water ingress. So the main feature is about manufacturing these holes for this gear plate here, which has to make sure that all the geometric tolerances are well oriented towards making this assembly run successfully. So let's try to just create all the product manufacturing information for this gear plate here. Creating dimensions for all different annotated views within MBD is what we're going to look at. So as you can see here, our first step basically is to activate the SolidWorks MBD tab. So with your SolidWorks license, you can just have the add-in tab here. And this is what your SolidWorks MBD gives you on the above ribbon, different options to create all your product manufacturing information. To start right with this product, we'd like to first reference our datums. Looking at the application, we understand that this is mounted on the base plate on this face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the help of the dim expert, where we have the option to just choose the datums and the features against which you'd like to have the PMI generated. So I'm going to start with using a geometric tolerance type for this component, setting a primary datum. I'm going to use this base as the primary datum, a secondary datum for this bearing hole, which controls the shaft of the gear assembly. And to take it in the Z plane, I'm just going to use this holes. So as you can see, dim expert has already identified the holes to be patterned and compound. For the features, I'd like to start off with features for a certain for these holes on these base plate, and we can consider the hole at the other end of the shaft. And just saying, okay, all my product manufacturing information has been directly generated by this tool right here by dim expert. So you can see it also just highlights the features which we've selected, showing a green state, which means they've been fully defined. If they were underdefined, they would be yellow, or if they were overdefined or constrained, they would be turned as red. So you have that expertise from SolidWorks that they have used. You can prefer to use an annotation view for all of this, for what we're trying to create here. So you have the different annotation views which are by default set in here. So you have a left, back, top, etc. You have the datums highlighted, which we've selected, and you have the other features that we took into consideration right now. I can just start off with the top view from now. I'll just say activate and orient the top view. So it's already giving me the geometric tolerances and the PMI for the holes that we had selected earlier. How about I just try to recreate the basic dimensions for these holes? And you can see there are these dimensions that have come just populated with the click of a button. There's one of these dimensions which has gone into another view, which I can't see in the top view. So what I can do is I can just easily ask it or orient it to be in the top view. Go back to my top view, say orient, and I have this dimension that's already generated, and I've aligned it. I can then tidy up the look as I would like it. And with MBD, you have this Capture 3D View tab available at the bottom. So this is your area where all these views will be created, and you can capture the 3D view. So I have this top view which I've generated for my product. I'll just say, okay, capture top view. It'll ask you for annotations to be included from other views that you have. But for now, since we've started with top, I'll just keep it at top. All right, so that's as easy. And I have my first 3D view that's ready at this bottom here. Now, let's just go on to another view. If I take it through all the views, it'll just get much more clear and evident on what we can do about this. So we've used some other features when we were setting up the datums. So you have that populated within this view. And as you can orient it, it'll set up all of that. You have different other features where you can, again, create dimensions that you need for your product manufacturing. Now this seems to be decent enough for a view. So all I can do is say, again, capture 3D view, and it'll ask me for annotations to be selected. I just say, all right, this is fine with me. But as you notice, there are some flange holes here, which also I would need some information about. So I can start again with my dim expert, and for now I'll consider my plus minus tolerance scheme, and I'll take this as polar, since these are holes on a flange. I'll use a primary datum as the datum B, which we had selected earlier. And for the selected features, I'll select the hole. So it's automatically selected the pattern. Sorry, my datum is B, and the selected feature is the hole. So it's automatically selected the pattern for the flange holes. I say, all right. And there you go. It's populated my PMI for these flange holes. But now, as you can see, it's kind of there's too much of information on one view. So I can easily just create a new view, say insert annotation view for my front, and I'd just like to select the annotations that I need in this view. So if I want only information for the flange holes, I say, all right, for all the pitch PCDs that it's created, I say okay. And now if I say capture 3D view, I would like to go with this new view without the earlier annotations which were created for the other front view. So now I have this information only for the flange holes. I say OK. You have this new view created as front 1 by default. You can rename it, say as flange holes, and you have this new view ready. So there you already have 3 views created, and I'm just going to jump in and show you what else can you do with the other features available within MBD. So if I go back to my left view, so you can see here, this is giving me for the dimensions that have been populated for the compound hole. But maybe there are too many other dimensions which I don't want to spend time just creating all of it again. I would rather just use the feature dimensions which have been added by the designer itself. So all my feature views have been are now showing up on this model for this view, and I can just say, all right, I'd like to pick up the features that are related to the holes that we need. So I have the features selection tool, which I am just picking up all the dimensions I need from the feature dimensions. All right, so I'm happy with what I've selected so far. I say OK. I hide all the other feature views which I don't need at this stage, and without just going on selecting dim expert and trying to create dimensions out of this, I've managed to just use the feature dimensions which are already existing. I'm happy with this left view, and maybe I just don't want the dim expert annotations for now, so I'll hide that, and I'll capture my left view with this. Great. Now, if you would consider this same product to be put on a 2D drawing that you would do, you'd rather, for the information on these holes on the back plate, you would have to do a section view. So, well, let's do that. Within MBD, you have this option of creating section. So you can just put in a plane on where you need the section. So as you can see, the section has been created already. And you can go ahead and save the section view. Say save. Great, you have your section view. You orient it to the section view now. Now, you don't need all the feature dimensions showing up. So you take off that. And you can see here, you have the earlier populated PMI for this hole here, but you want to have the details about this hole. So I'll just go on to size dimension, and it's already identified there are 2 holes of the same diameter. So it's given me that. Now within this, of course, you'll be wondering, like, do I have to just rely on dim expert for all its PMI that it's generating? Can I not just change the tolerances by myself? Well, of course you can. So if you look at the options, there is a wide variety of options that you will have here so if you just look into dim expert, how you would like to set up your size dimensions, you've got bilateral tolerances, symmetric or general. For your geometric tolerances, what is the maximum material conditions that you would like to add in? You can set all of this. So this is currently set at ISO. So if you look at your, even each individual highlighting that you're showing with the ballooning or the well symbols, all of it can be customized as per what you may need. So it's all available here, and it of course can be customized. So just to show you, if I want to add in maybe a geometric tolerance for this one here, I'll just go ahead. I have a feature here to say geometric tolerance. I'll say I want to add in, say, a positional tolerance of 0.2 for a maximum material condition against datums A, B, and C. So this would be like a checker. If you probably make a mistake here, put in a datum that is not recognized, it will automatically just populate and tell you that, you know, there's an error, you've put in a wrong datum. So you put in, it helps you correct the tolerances that you're setting, and you can see I've added the new geometric tolerance, and it's already recreated the basic dimensions for me automatically. So I'm happy with this. I go to section, say orient. I'm happy with this view, and I say capture 3D view, and I have my new section view that's been created. So if you can look here, I can just double click on each of these views that I've created, and move to them, so I don't have to reorient any of these. And that's the key feature about this. So all these dimensions, you'll always have an ISO view, which will have all the PMI for all views created, and you have the ability to just rotate it around, move it around to see which of the views has been captured, which dimensions have been captured. So when you align it perpendicular to the face or parallel to the face from the screen, it basically would highlight the dimensions, but you can yet see them in a transparent mode and notice if you've missed out any feature in this. Now to add on for an additional thing, as I'd mentioned, you can always add configurations. So if I just go back to say any particular view that I have, let's see, should we, yep. So this seems like a good view, and I have maybe a different configuration for the same product to test it out. Or you don't, in a 2D drawing, what you would have to do is basically start to recreate all these this product manufacturing information on a 2D drawing for this. But here it's as simple as copying the annotation scheme. So I'll just choose the default scheme that we were using, and I say OK. And for this view, it just recreates all the dimensions that we had created for the section view of the earlier variant. It'll just highlight the regions which are inconsistent with the earlier, and you can just take care of that then. So you can always, of course, capture the 3D view for this variant as well. Just say capture, and you can add in a name for this as a variant. And you have a new view for a different variant. So this is a key feature, especially when you're dealing with sheet metal components where you would need a flattened part to be also added within your views. You can have this same working with a configuration of creating a flattened part and add it to these views. Yes, so now we've covered on how you can add all your product manufacturing information. I'm happy with this. All my holes have the dimensions that I need for manufacturing. Now, next step would be basically to publish this. Now, you have this direct publishing option here, which is to edrawings. So here you have, you can select if you want the default version or you want any other version with it included. You can do that. You can even attach certain files over here. So if I just click on attach, it gives me the option to select a step AP214 file, and if I just publish OK, it'll just take a couple of minutes, which I won't waste here on this webinar. So I have an already created eDrawings here, which shows you that this is completely dynamic. It's a free eDrawings reader, and it's easy to use on any device. All your configurations for different variants and the annotations that you've created will be here, which you can look at. So you can orient all the views that you've created with the PMI showing up for that. Moreover, this also highlights the dimensions that it's using. So if you're looking at any particular feature, it highlights what is the feature dimension about. You can even have the option of measuring things that you feel are missed out. If the supplier wants to know anything additional, he can even look at that. So just wants to identify maybe the diameter. If he doesn't have it in this view, he can do that as well. So it's completely interactive. You can do quite a lot. You can even create dynamic section views in this, where you can move in the section plane. So to give a clearer picture, you can see the section plane itself is dynamic as well. So if you've not created a section view, they can do it within the eDrawings. So that's the key feature of eDrawing. I'll close this for now. Besides this, as I mentioned, there's a 3D PDF template editor. Well, if it's something like designing the layout of your template. If you want to add in different fields, forms, which I showed you in the PDF earlier, so all of that can be added into this. It's very simple. It's something like very similar to creating a slide on a presentation. How you would add in text boxes. It's something very similar to that. And here you have the option to publish to a 3D PDF. So here, once you've created your template, so we've just created one quick template here, which shows my company logo and the fields that I would like. So this is for an assembly. So there is a wide range of default templates already created for MBD. And depending upon your product, you can have a look at each of these templates and what their output fields are like. So I can just select the A4 part landscape. Here, these include your primary view. So if you would like to include any specific ISO view, top view, or you can just use all the views that you've just created. So it gives you the option for that. I can just easily select all the, including the variant, I can select all of them. Again, you have the option of attaching files, so you can include your model file as well. You can include e-drawings or PDF, whatever you need. You can just simply just say, okay, attach, and the file gets attached within the PDF. So they have the, your supplier or the manufacturing line will have the ability to access the final file as well. Also, you have the ability to edit the output field. So if you would like to include any particular fields that, within the, like you would add in the drawing, so you'd like to add a description, you can do all of that. So that's populated directly from SolidWorks when you've created the model. So this being an integral part of SolidWorks helps create all of that. And by means of this, you just go ahead and say publish, and it will give you this output file, which we discussed earlier. This could be your final file. Where you would have all these views that we've created earlier with all your product manufacturing information. Easy to use, easy to interact with, gets very clear, and that's the whole purpose of MBD. And this is, again, if I just go back to SolidWorks, and if I go back to the whole assembly, so this, I'll just close this for now and hop onto the assembly. Again, here you have the ability to create 3D views for assembly as well. So if I just go on to this view and capture a 3D view where I have already created a configuration for an exploded view, you have the option to do that. And you even have the option to set display states, which I was talking about earlier. So if I want this product to be set up as a glass, which has transparency, and to show the rest of the components as is, and then you can just select the views that you would like, the annotation views. And you say, all right, you can capture that. You have your new view created here. Again, when you go ahead to try to publish this into a PDF, now we'll take something that's more appropriate, an assembly landscape. So you would like to take in the 3D view maybe, and you have the option here to add the bill of materials as well. So if you remember the PDF that we shared earlier, it had this interactive 3D PDF with the bill of material table. So that's how you can just directly add the bill of material table and publish it as a 3D PDF. So that's about MBD, and I hope I've been able to communicate what this tool is really talking about and what it can really do for you. It's easy to just start communicating all this product manufacturing information into different formats. And it's been recommended by a lot of companies. So world over, users are recommending, large organizations in the US have started to make this as a preference for suppliers using MBD as a part of the process. So it's never too late to begin. And today, in the age of Tesla's going to Mars, I think we can't be really stuck in 2D. So this was a quick glance through about SolidWorks MBD. I hope I was able to give you a fairly good understanding of the tool and able to highlight the benefits that you can expect. The value that this tool delivers in terms of cost and time, and the time saved, is just unbelievable. When evaluating it for your ROI for the price of the product, I think the price point is absolutely hard to believe. So you feel free to contact me directly by email if you have any queries about MBD, and I'll be happy to assist you. I will try reach out to all of you who have registered for this webinar personally to seek your feedback. And thank you again for your time. I hope you found this webinar helpful and convincing enough that you can consider implementing MBD for your business.